D. Is there anyone currently who is David Miscavige's right-hand man in the same way that Miscavige was for LRH, someone who would take over if and when the demise of DM ever happens? Or is DM too paranoid to have someone so close to him? Do you think if DM was ever arrested that current Scientologists would still consider him the leader as the FLDS do with Warren Jeffs, even though he's incarcerated? Would that make DM a martyr like Jeffs and elevate his standing? Thanks for the question, D. I get asked this all the time about the secession of David Miscavige and who would rise up into his position. And frankly, no one knows. Nobody has a clue what would happen if David Miscavige just disappeared tomorrow. The circumstances of his disappearance, though, would matter. And that's why the second half of your question was very, very interesting to me, and I wanted to talk about it. I don't think right now, from all the knowledge, the data that I have, that there is any right-hand man to David Miscavige. He's got an assistant, Lou, whatever her last name is, I forgot. Used to be Stukenbrock. Anyway, he's got her. He's got other people in his entourage, and he's got whoever else he wants to pull up and put it into his entourage, which he does from time to time. So I think he looks for lieutenants who will, be subservient and loyal and obsequious to him. But I don't think he's looking for a replacement, or I don't think he's looking for a right-hand man who could fill in for him should he, want to take a day off or something. That's not how David Miscavige would think. That would be the exact opposite of how he would be thinking, because of course, anybody he groomed to put into, a right-hand man position would just kick him out and take over, because that's how he did it. Right? So he knows he's not going to let that happen to him. So I don't think that's why that situation is, I don't think there was any right-hand man. But the question about him going to jail, that's interesting, because yes, I do think it would depend on what the charges were. But, and what available evidence was there for the public to see. But actually, regardless of the evidence, it actually wouldn't really matter. There would be a contingent of Scientologists, and certainly the Sea Org as a body would line up to be loyal to him. And they would still want directions and orders from him, and they still would think he is the leader, and they would definitely do a full-blown martyr campaign. Absolutely. And in fact, you would see, oh my God, a level of promotion coming out of Scientology, like actual hard money being spent, that no expenses would be spared to promote anything on any media line that David Miscavige is being, lynched, framed. It's all a frame up, right, by his enemies. This was, it's all just, he's totally being martyred right now. He's a religious leader. Of course this is happening. I mean, they would leave no stone unturned and no expense spared to get him out of that jail situation. They definitely would. They could have video of him killing somebody, and everything I just said would be true, would still happen. I guarantee it. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Now, if David Miscavige, of course, the only exception to this little scenario I'm painting here is that if he himself was broken by law enforcement or by his prison experience, and he no longer was the one giving the orders or commands, or was incapable of doing that for some reason, then somebody would step up, and odds are that person would end up becoming the next David Miscavige. And depending on their personality type, would depend completely on what the direction of Scientology would be from that point forward. So that's an interesting scenario, and one that I had not considered before. So thank you very much for asking me that.